All right, good afternoon, everyone. The purpose of this video is going to teach you how to make a contact, how to make an opportunity, and then we're going to get into Docusign and prepare some documents for a buyer agency agreement. So first things first, we need to make our contact. Let's go to our contact applet. We're going to choose add contact in the top right corner. Today we'll be working with Fred Flintstone. I'm going to choose add relationship and make Wilma Flintstone. Okay, his email will be fredflint@gmail.com. Okay. And his phone number is not really important for the purposes of today since we're getting into Docusign, but we'll just pop something in there. All right, for the time being. If you choose select from contacts, you can put in here who Fred Flintstone was referred to you from, or if you choose from list, you can select your lead source from many different potential lead sources. This helps you track where your business is coming from. Under the tagging system, I like to mark anybody in here if I know what they're going to be doing. If he's a buyer, I'll mark him as a buyer. If I know that he's an NC State graduate, I might put NCSU graduate, and so on and so forth. I also rank my business from an A+ down to a D. So since he'd be new to my database, I would mark him as a C. Okay. Under add more information, we can choose additional content information. In this case, we can add a secondary email, secondary phone number. We can also put in their home address. For the purposes of today, I will use our address that for the office, for Keller Williams office. Okay. Moving on down to the about section now, we can put in their legal name if it's different from their nickname. We can also put in their birthday and home anniversary. Lastly, if you know other contacts in your database that they are related to, you can add them in here. So with that being said, I'm going to click create. And now from Fred Flintstone, we can go down to Wilma, the spouse, and edit her information as well. I'm going to hit the edit button up here in the top right-hand corner. And then from here, I'm going to put in wilmaflint@gmail.com. Now, the email is the most important thing for a contact because what you absolutely must have at a bare minimum for your clients is to get things signed in Docusign is to have have their name and their email. So that's all that you need to get things signed in Docusign. Okay, so we're going to switch back to Fred Flintstone since he's thus far been the primary on this. And now we're going to make an opportunity. And it's very easy to do so from the contact itself. Okay, here we go. I'm going to click on my opportunities tab here in the contact. I'm going to choose create opportunity. And now I'll have my options for my opportunity. And an opportunity is just that. An opportunity is the chance for a piece of business. So let's say Fred mentioned to me that he's looking to maybe buy a new home in the next 6 months. I would go ahead and make an opportunity for that so I can track the potential business in my pipeline. So under opportunity type, we're going to choose buyer. Under co-buyer, we're going to choose Wilma Flintstone. She should be the automatic choice there. We need to set our commission rate, which for a buyer in this area is usually 2.4%. And if I know his budget, I can punch it in. So let's say, he's going to buy $400,000 worth of home. Lastly here, you can work with the phase and stage of the opportunity. This helps you track where in the transaction you are. So for instance, with Fred, let's say we're at the appointment phase and we are in the scheduling stage. So I'm trying to schedule a buyer consultation with him. All right. And now we're going to choose create. You'll see here it says Fred Flintstone buyer. That's the name of our opportunity. If we click on this, it will now take us into the opportunity. Okay. Now that I'm in the opportunity, you'll see on the first page, we have a details tab and a documents tab. We need to go over to the Documents tab, and from here, we're going to choose Pick Checklist Type. When we choose Pick Checklist Type, we're going to pick Residential, and that will give us a checklist for the forms that we're required to provide for compliance in regards to a residential transaction, residential buyer transaction. And notice we have 3 separate folders here. We have what's required for the consultation phase, what's required for the under contract phase, which as you'll note is lots of potential documents. It's kind of one size fits all. Notice that we have not only the 2T, but also the 12T for your land buyers as well. Okay, and then lastly, you have the closed folder. This is where you'll upload your copy of the commission check, the final ALTA statement, and a copy of the MLS closed. Okay. But let's go back to consultation, and we need to open up a room in Docusign. So to do so, we're going to click Start a Transaction, and this will now take us into Docusign, where we can prep our forms to be signed. Okay, fabulous. All right, so here in Docusign, notice we're in Docusign now, we have a Details tab and a Documents tab, very similar to Command. On the Details tab, make sure you scroll down on the right-hand side and see the different roles that exist for your transaction. Seller 1, Seller 2, List Agent 1, List Agent 2. And here you'll see Buyer 1, Fred Flintstone with his email, and then Buyer 2, Wilma Flintstone with her email, and then Buyer Agent, Robert Joins, and then my contact information. Okay. We're going to go back to documents. We're going to pull in some documents to sign. So for a buyer agency agreement, we need to click Add, choose Docusign Forms. From Docusign Forms, we have a checklist here, Residential Form Buyer Packet. If you click on this, you then should be able to choose whatever forms you need. So in preparation for potentially writing an offer, but definitely getting agency, I'm going to click the box next to the 2T offer to purchase. I'm going to click the box next to the 201 exclusive buyer agency agreement. And then I'm going to find the 261 working with real estate agents for buyers. With those forms selected, I will choose add selected, and it adds these to the room. Now we need to prep these forms to be signed. First, I'll start with the working with real estate agents. Now that it's pulled up this document, I'm going to go through and prepare this document. I will check the box next to buyer agency, next to dual agency, and next to designated dual agency, and then I'll verify that my information at the bottom is correct. I will add my license number and choose Save and Close. Next, we're going to move on to our buyer agency agreement. I don't want to waste your time in filling this out option by option. If you don't know how to sign a buyer agency agreement, please come to one of my classes in person or absolutely take a class with Sharon, our broker in charge, and she'll be able to show you how to fill out these forms. But for the time being, I'm going to right click on this and I'm going to apply one of my templates that I've already made for this form. Template number 9, here we go, apply. And now note when I click on this form that this document has been completely filled out with my base level buyer agency template that I've produced. If you'd like to learn how to do that, on our YouTube channel, I have a video that shows you specifically how to make a template for Docusign. It's very, very easy. You plug in the information, okay? The only thing I'll need to add to this would be the date that we go in on this, which would be 1/17/2023, okay? And again, term shall begin on 1/17/2023 and shall end on, we'll do 1/17/2024, just for simplicity's sake, okay? And I'm gonna click Save and Close, and we'll just assume that I've filled out the rest of that buyer agency agreement to completion. Now, to send these documents to your clients, this is very important. We need to go to the Envelopes tab. We need to choose a new envelope. With a new envelope, we will now pull in our forms, okay? Where it says here, drop your files here, we're going to click Upload. We're going to say Use a template. Sorry, not use a template. We're going to say Add Room Docs. We're going to add Room Docs. And then you'll be able to pull the documents that we've already added to the room. So for today, we need the 261 and the 201. I'm going to check the boxes next to them and choose Add Selected. There they are. And now I need to tell Docusign who's going to be signing this document. So first and foremost, notice that everybody has a turn order here. I don't want people to receive this form one by one. So I'm going to uncheck the box that says Set Signing Order, and that means we'll all receive it at the same time. Now, I also need to make sure that the rules are correct. I have two buyers, but I don't have a buyer entity. A buyer entity would be an LLC, S Corp, something like that that's purchasing a property. So I can click the delete, the trash can here, click delete, and they're gone. Next, under buyer 1, I'm going to click this little button here, and I'm going to go to Room Contacts and choose Fred Flintstone, Apply Selected. He's now my buyer 1. For buyer 2, I'll do the same. Room Contacts, Wilma Flintstone, Apply Selected. Under buyer agent, I'll click this little address book and choose myself and click Apply Selected. Okay, we now have every role assigned for this particular form. The message where it says add message, this is what our email is going to look like that we send to our client. So any notes that you want to send to them, you can type here. Okay. Now we're going to choose next in the bottom right-hand corner, and this will be our last opportunity to verify that the document is correct as we sign it. Notice on page 1 of the Working with Agents disclosure, it has now automatically assigned signatures. I would like to point out that it has also color-coded the signatures to our clients. Notice that Fred is yellow and Wilma is blue. And I can change who I'm assigning signatures for, right? Very easily. If you need to undo something, you can always hit Control-Z, or you can always right-click and do undo, or you can operate these arrows up at the top that will add or redo or undo things that you've already done on a document. I'll also note that these forms, these signatures here, if you uncheck the box that says required field, makes these signatures non-required. And what does that mean? Non-required or unrequired means that your client does not have to sign those boxes to complete a document. Let me tell you, if a client has an option to skip something or to sign all fields for something, they will. So a word to the wise would be to idiot-proof your agency agreements thusly. So let me clear out these boxes real quick and let me show you what I mean. I'm going to expand out over here on the right, the exclusive buyer agency agreement. We're going to go down to page 5 of the exclusive buyer agency agreement. Note at the top of page 5, right here, you have these 6 fields that are considered non-required. Now, the problem with this is that if your client is left like this, they're not going to sign any of it, or they might accidentally sign all of them. So what I typically do is I highlight these boxes, I click and drag and highlight these boxes and hit the delete key. I will highlight and select these other boxes and set them to required. And then, of course, I will say does not authorize. And this covers my butt in regards to doing designated dual agency. And I highly encourage you to do the same. Okay. Once your document is how you want it to be and it's correct, you're ready to send it to your client. And what I'm going to do today is to keep things simple. I'm actually going to go back and I'm going to remove Fred and Wilma so you can see what a completed document looks like, because obviously that's a fake email. So I'm going to delete them off of this. Don't actually do this on your transactions. I'm just trying to show you what a finished signed document looks like. So I'm going to click next. I'm going to click send, and this will now send this to me to sign the document, but just me to sign the document. Okay. So now in my envelopes tab, it says needs my signature. So it says, hey, I have a form here ready for you, the agent, to sign. I'm going to click sign. And this is going to show you what it looks like for you to actually go through one of these documents, what it would look like for your clients. Okay. So here, I'm going to click start. I'm going to initial, signature, and I'm done. Now notice how quickly that came across. If your clients aren't paying attention, they could very easily miss one of those non-required fields. Now, notice my envelope says completed and it's green. And if we go back to the documents tab, you have green signed versions of all of these forms. Wonderful. They're PDFs. Okay. To upload these documents for compliance to command, we're going to go back to our command tab. And here where it says documents and for compliance, where it says attach files from Docusign, I'm going to choose my Room Docs folder. Look here, Room Docs folder. And under these dropdowns, if I click Working Through Real Estate Agents, here, let me refresh the page because it hasn't figured out that I have new forms there. Okay. Again, I'm going to choose the Room Docs folder. And under the dropdown, it now shows precisely these signed forms. So I'm going to choose for 261, the Working with Real Estate Agents. And for the 201 buyer agency agreement, I'm going to select that as well. With those forms selected, you can now submit it to the Market Center. I'm not actually going to do that because Art Polling would light me up, right? Okay, so this is a good place for us to stop for this video. We'll be covering commissions in my next video. If you have any questions about this, make sure to come to my classes. I teach every Monday and Friday in the Market Center in the main training room. Thank you very much and good luck.